Hello, Agathe.
Hi, Madi.
I'm super excited to talk with you today. We have so many things to talk about. You are actually in the real estate industry, and you're going to share a lot about the kind of clients you have, what you do to attract that kind of clients, and all the story behind how you realized that you were attracting that kind of specific client. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for your warm welcome, Madi. So as you said, my name is Agathe. I'm French. I've been in Dubai since 2013. I held different positions in corporate industry. I've been with the Walt Disney Company for 5 years. And then I decided to merge my passion for real estate and my work, and I founded l'Agence Dubai. The purpose of this company actually is to support foreign investors in their real estate strategy in Dubai.
So it has been this target from the beginning, or you started as a, let's say, more standard real estate agent, or you already knew from the beginning that you were going to target only foreigners wanting to invest in Dubai?
I was not particularly targeting foreigners, but I was targeting investors because I don't own my house, for example, but I've been investing in real estate a lot in France. And then when I moved to Dubai, I've invested massively here in Dubai. And I've been, you always said that in life you need to find your ikigai, something that you do. It's not difficult for you, you're good at it, and it's not something that you feel forced to do. And for me, it was real estate investment. I was passionate with this. So I decided to help people to actually duplicate the strategies I was applying in my investment. And since I'm French, and let's be honest, most of French people don't speak English, they wanted to invest in Dubai, but they felt totally lost because they couldn't speak English, and they needed someone to help them and to support them in this approach.
So basically, it came pretty naturally that you started to target French people who wanted to invest in Dubai, and all inside of all these French people, you realized that more and more you attracted a specific kind of client. So we were talking about that while we were preparing the show, that we actually have very different kind of clients. All of them are wealthy, more or less, but not the same kind of client. So you realized after all these years that you attract a specific kind of client.
Yeah, I work with many kind of clients, but if I have to rank like the top 10 of my wealthiest clients, they all have the same, basically kind of the same profile. Most of them are entrepreneurs, but they run different kind of business. They work in different industries. Some of them will be in oil trading, for example. Some of them will be nightclub owners in France. Some of them will be in import-export with Africa and Asia as well. So they're all entrepreneurs. Some of them as well, and it's quite new, are in cryptocurrencies, like crypto traders. And I have some athletes as well, like professional football players.
So it's so interesting because you have so many wealthy clients. It's not like ages ago when it was only like aristocratic families with a history behind. Now you have so many new rich people and so many new behaviors to deal with as well, because definitely you don't behave the same way with aristocratic families and with athletes, with some people in crypto, like some influencers. So it's so different. So you have to adapt yourself continuously all the time. Do you think anything specific was the reason why you attracted this specific kind of clients, or it's just completely random?
I don't know if there is something specific that attracted them, but all of them have been introduced by a third party. As you know, all wealthy people will be surrounded by a circle of people that want to take advantage of their wealth. Basically, they want to make money. They want to benefit from their position around these people. So they're always surrounded by people who are trying to sell something to them, product or services, and they're bit wary, I would say. They're a bit caution because they don't want to trust anyone. As you said, I'm not dealing personally with aristocratic families at all. So all the people that I'm dealing with, they made their money themselves. They had to earn their position. So they are not spending money carelessly. And when it comes to their investment, how to make more money, how to invest and secure the money that I've earned, I don't want to talk to anyone. I will not deal with my cousin. I will not deal with someone that will not be a professional. So every time I had the chance to work with wealthy people, I've been introduced by a third party that they were trusting, basically. So I think the thing that attracted them is that I didn't approach them directly. You know what I mean? I've been introduced by someone they trusted. This is the first thing. The second thing is I had to build trust relationships, meaning that I was not in sales mode. I was listening to them, listening to their strategy, what they want. Let's say, for example, some people would tell me, okay, I want to build a real estate portfolio because I want to stop working I want to create passive income because I want to stop working in 10 years. And we would sit and work together on the strategy to build this and to reach this objective, basically. So I was more like an advisor, someone they can trust, instead of a salesperson, I would say.
It is actually very interesting because you just said 3 most important things you have to deal with when you work with wealthy clients. It's the networking, to be introduced to these people because they need to trust you. Like basically, if you were a random real estate agent, they won't trust you maybe because it's just like you are one in the middle of millions. So being introduced means like working on your networking, building trust. It's just one of the most important things. Like if you do something bad once, it's done, finish. Mm-hmm. And then a long-term partnership. Like once they trust you, you can definitely build something for years, which is so interesting, especially in real estate investments, because you can just basically come back every 2-3 years with a new project. And you told me this very interesting story of you've been introduced to someone, you basically never met this guy, and he wanted to invest in Dubai, but the project didn't work or whatever, and you called him, like, maybe you can finish the story, like you called him suddenly, and this guy, you said, like, it's now, trust me, you have to put the deposit, and this guy just trusted you.
Yeah, definitely. This person has been introduced to me, I think, 2 years before we signed our first deal together. He's a big guy involved in tobacco industry in South Africa, so like very very interesting profile. And we've been introduced like more than 2 years ago. And at this time, he really wanted something very specific. I offered something. We couldn't talk this day, and this is one of the challenges we will elaborate later. There are busy people, so sometimes it's a little bit challenging. So I introduced him to a project. The project was sold out by the time he decided to go for it. And then we've been in touch for 2 years. I was constantly keeping in touch with him, like for Christmas, for New Year's Eve. How about the wedding of your daughter? Blah blah blah. It's important as well to be genuine and really be interested by people, their personal life, etc. And I was not constantly proposing projects. So I understand that this kind of people are very busy. So you're not here to waste their time. You're here to basically act like a filter and make a selection of what could suit them or not. And only if you want to score, you only need to be like very specific, very precise, and offer them exactly what they want. So I offered maybe in these 2 years, I offered maybe 2-3 different project, and every time something was not really what he wanted. So when something came up, which was exactly what he wanted, what he needed, I told him, okay, look, now this is in your budget, this is exactly the view that you want, this is exactly the type of area that you want, etc., the kind of standard that you're looking for, you need to do it. But sorry for that. If you want to, it's a very demanded project. So if you want to get a unit, and nice unit, you need to send a deposit of 10%, which was the equivalent of $300,000, $400,000
just
even.
For the deposit.
Just for the deposit. And once again, we had never met each other. Everything was over the phone, and he told me, okay, no problem, just give me the bank details where I need to send the money. Of course, it was not on my bank account. It was on the very famous developer based here in Dubai. So it was totally safe, I think. And he just sent the deposit, and we've met after the deal was signed 1 or 2 months after, maybe.
With champagne.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. You add something as well on the balance, which is like keeping in touch. Like, even if it takes years, sometimes it's just like the bad timing, like things go like this people is very busy, as you said, or for whatever reason, maybe you can have the deal, but like years later. And I think all of us, we've experimented things like that just basically you are in touch with someone, nothing happens, but you do this extra effort to stay in touch. And then years later, suddenly it works. Like, I have that a lot with partners like planners, for example, when they are like, oh, I really want to work with you, but sometimes they don't have the kind of clients I'm used to work with and with that kind of budget. And then years later, we stay in touch for many reasons, like some of them are friends, not everything has to be related to business. And suddenly years later, they come back to me saying like, I finally have a client for you, and they are so happy that we have the opportunity finally to work together. So it's good to stay in touch. It's not easy to stay in touch with all of them, of course. You have like a little black book, like so big, but just to send a few messages sometimes to say like, hey, how are you? What's up? To remind them that you are there in case they need anything. It's definitely. So I think in your industry, like in every industry, but even more in yours, networking is so important. Taking care of the leads and the clients in a long-term strategy is so important, definitely.
But as you said, also you mentioned something very important. Your network is not the direct client most of the time. It will be the middle person that will introduce you to this person. I have another very funny story. 16 years ago, I went to London after I graduated, just to live 7 months to learn English. Basically, I couldn't speak English at all, and I needed to go there just to learn how to speak English. And I had at this time I was totally broke, and I was working in like a suburb of London with other people. And one of my flatmates, so we lived together maybe 3 months. We parted. We shared we shared meals and things like this. And after that, we stayed 15 years apart without talking to each other. And when I opened l'agence Dubai, she told me, "Oh, Agathe, you need to talk to my brother-in-law. For sure, we will work together. You will find a way to work together." And this guy is actually working with football player, and is the guy who introduced me to the first professional football player I worked with. And then this football player introduced me to others, etc. And I couldn't think at this time, that this particular person could bring years after that kind of high profile people. And even her, she's a waiter, in a restaurant, and she's not directly connected to that kind of people, but she brought me someone who so it works. Open, definitely. This is the crazy thing, that you never know. Like for this wealthy tobacco guy, it was easy to understand that I had to keep in touch with him, because this guy is wealthy, and eventually we will sign a deal together, if it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years after. But even like people you wouldn't think that they would bring you business can actually bring you business, and as you said, like 15 years after.
It's insane. Like, she came back from nowhere 15 years after, and she still remembered you. And she was like, okay, this is now, everything is aligned, let's go. It's so true that you never know where the business comes from. I have so many stories like this one. I don't have one in particular in mind, but so many stories like this one where you just meet someone completely randomly, but this person is going to introduce you to someone, and this person is going to be your next client. So it's just like, don't have any conception, like preconception.
Misconception of who,
like don't have any ideas in advance about people, because like don't have any opinion about people in advance before knowing anything about them. Like all of them, sometimes we can have when you meet someone new and you're just like, well, okay, no, this person is useless for my business. That is not true. You never know where the business comes from, and you could be so surprised.
Yeah, and this
is
is
I really try to be kind all the time. when I meet new people, you never know where.
Anyway, from a human point of view, like perspective, it's better to be good with someone. But even from business point of view, you never know, and it's one of the biggest learning I got in my life.
We keep thinking that because someone is not from the same industry or from the same don't deal with the same kind of clients than us, it's not interesting. But that is so wrong. Like we never know where the business comes from. Definitely, this is so important. So we talked about trust. We talked about long-term strategy, networking. So I think trust is definitely the value the most. Do you think anything else that is very important for them? You talked about the fact that they are super busy, so you have to go like straight to the point. They don't have time for you to explain all the details and the logistic. You have to be focused on what's really important because they don't have time, basically.
Yeah, so you need to make them save time, and for me the biggest mistake will be to think that because they are wealthy, they can spend their money carelessly. Like some people can think, oh, it's okay, like $1 million for that kind of guy, it's nothing. If I make them bad investment or not so good investment, they will not really care. It's not the case at all, and especially with people, as we said, that are the first generation to be rich, let's say, in their family.
First generation because they know the value of money.
Because they built their wealth, and they will even like us sometimes, like we're a bit careless about things. These people, they're like 10 times, 100 times wealthier than us, but they will pay attention to every dirham they will spend. So for me, the biggest mistake would think like, it's okay, they can make a mistake, they can make a bad investment, they will not really care. No, you will pay cash. This is something that you will pay cash because, as we said, they are very well surrounded, they have the money to pay for the best services, and they can work with anyone. So if you make one mistake, it will be the end of the collaboration, for sure. Second, as we said, they are very busy, so sometimes it's a little bit challenging because you have like the product they would have to go for, but they are not very responsive. They are signing a huge deal with other partners, or they are in vacation with their family, and they will not be responsive enough, and they will miss the deal. Okay, you need to just breathe. Okay, you are disappointed, but you will have other opportunity to work with them. But this could be a little bit frustrating, so you need to manage your frustration, and also you need to be like, you need to score. And you need to be very straight to the point and very focused on what they want, what they don't want. They will not repeat what they need like 10 times.
But let's be honest, like even for everybody, is there anything more frustrating than when you have to deal with someone for any business that you say what you need and this person suggests something completely out of what you just said, and so you have to repeat again, and then they send you something like out of the blue, and it's just like, oh goodness, I just told you I need this, so why do you keep suggesting something that is completely out of what I said? It's just, I hate that. It's just, I try to go always straight to the point in my personal life, just because I don't want to waste time and I don't want these people to waste their time, and I just try to do exactly the same with my clients. But it's all about the timing, as you said. Sometimes it's just like, in my industry, for example, they are going to contact several people, and then one of them is going to reply quickly, and this guy is going to have the contract. This is something I keep saying, you have to reply quickly, you have to anticipate their needs, you have to go straight to the point. Like they don't have time to waste, but you don't have time to waste neither. So it's definitely something.
But I've been in a sales position since more than 15 years. I was in finance before, and the person who introduced me to this job, to this work, told me, like, most of the sales people make the same mistake. They keep presenting things and they keep talking about their product, when to be a good salesperson you just need to listen and be organized. You don't need to be a good speaker.
Yeah.
You need to listen to your client to understand what he needs and write everything down just to remember, because as we said, if you talk to someone 6 months after, this person will assume that you remember what he told you 6 months before, and you need to offer something that suits what they need.
The little, what I call the little black book, is just so important. This is like the CRM now, but just a database about the leads even years ago, because like when they come back, you need to know exactly what you talked about, what they want, their situation, and all these details. So important, even more with wealthy clients, definitely.
This is something that they will value a lot.
So true, like you to remember. And of course, we have many clients, many leads mainly, and you can't remember all of them. So this is why this database is so important. So it's just like you have many softwares today to create these databases. But you need to have one, because this is, as you said, so important, and they value that a lot. There is a short story I'd like to talk about, because we talked about trust. And how we met each other is basically because you sold me an apartment in Dubai. Mm-hmm. And I think I will always remember for the rest of my life this experience. It was an off-plan apartment. We went to this incredible place called Coca-Cola Arena.
Yes.
And it was an experience like I've never lived it before. So basically you arrived, you have all these crazy people with their phone. They are like, what do you want? 1 bedroom. Okay, where? And you're like, oh my goodness, this is so oppressive. I'm so overwhelmed. Just, you have to take a decision now. I don't know. So stay on the side. And you have like 2 more people coming with the phone, like talking to Russians at the other side of the world, and like 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, buy down. Oh my goodness. And I looked at you, and it's all about trust, because I asked you like, that it's worth it. And you told me like, in any case, it's a good investment. Like whatever you're gonna do later, if you want to sell it again or if you want to keep it, it's a good investment. And I looked at you in your eyes and I was like, okay, it's about trust. And here we are, it's done. And now I don't want to sell it. I had in mind to sell it at the beginning, and now I don't want to sell it in the end, because I keep thinking it's a good investment. And it's just,
and
so thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome. But in that kind of project, what is very specific in Dubai is that you're in competition with the whole world. When you go to France, for example, and you go to a real estate project, you want to buy on a real estate off-plan project, it will be basically people of the same city. I mean, the customers will be people that are around the same city and they want to live in this specific area, for example. Here in Dubai, you have the whole world. You have, as you said, Russian people, Chinese, Indian, Iranian, Saudi. You have people living here, resident. Everyone wants to buy something in Dubai, in true. Real estate. Yeah. But as you said, there are some projects that are more requested than others, and whatever you want to do with it, it's always a good investment. And as you said, if you're not in this industry, if you do not that every day of your life, you will not know how to recognize which one is good, which one is average, which one it's not a good one.
And we know that in Dubai you can have like random projects in the middle of nowhere, and they are very good to sell it to people who don't know how it works. We have so many anecdotes about that, but it's just like sometimes you just have green flags and everywhere, and you have like someone you trust in front of you saying like, whatever you're gonna do with it, just it's a good investment. If you can do it, just do it. And then it's about trust, and it's exactly the same concept of trust for every entrepreneur and in every industry, definitely. Something I'd like to switch to is like, do you think you have to work on your image, like your personal branding, when you work with that kind of client in your industry? Because you said some clients you don't even meet them, but you have to work on social media as well. You have to work on like Zoom or whatever. Like, is there anything you have to do and you feel you have to do it to fit with that kind of client on yourself?
Honestly, I don't think so. You work in social media to attract mass market. This is what I think, actually. When it comes to wealthy people, and when you deal in, it depends on the industry. I think if you're a party planner or if you're a stylist, for example, yes, you will have to work on your personal branding and how you look, etc. When you work with money, there is nothing less secret, except maybe, I don't know, very private things. There is not something that is more secret than money. And even wealthy people, they're not very transparent, and they don't want that to be public. So if you are the person they would trust to invest, I mean, they have wealth manager, etc., but they would trust me for only for their real estate investment, specifically in Dubai. They will not want you to be everywhere in the internet. They want you to be very discreet and keep everything confidential. So I think that personal branding is very important, especially nowadays, but it will be more to attract mass markets because less wealthy people, we want to work with you because they will trust you as well, and they will think that, if she works with these wealthy people, I can trust her. I will become a little bit richer thanks to her. But this specific wealthy people, they wouldn't care.
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, and I think we could talk about that during our works, definitely, like how to behave with your personal branding when you work with wealthy clients or when you want to work with wealthy clients. And I also think that at the very beginning, sometimes you have to show yourself, you have to show yourself a bit more, just because you don't have the network yet. And once you have the network, it's like something you can completely deal with. I know so many people, like some very some people working with very rich clients, they don't even have a website.
Yeah,
and
totally agree.
Actually don't need, but they balance with a crazy network. So it's not something you can do if you don't have something in front of it. Like if you have a crazy network, maybe you don't need to be on social media, but if you don't have that, you need maybe to balance with something else. So it's all about balance. The same is depending on the kind of clients. Personally, I work a lot in the Middle East, Saudi, Kuwait, and privacy is so important. So you cannot share anything. So my way to show my work is, of course, to show my pictures of decor, things like that, but I cannot share any face. And the only way for me to keep communicating is to show myself as well, like backstages, like behind the scenes. And it's just like to find the balance between like, I cannot share anything, but I need to share. Because in my industry, people are on social media, even wealthy clients. So I think it also depends on the kind of industry. As you said, you are playing with their money. So it's very different. Like
it's very sensitive.
Yeah. I am creating images for them, so they need to see my work, they need to see me, I'm going to be there on the whole day. So it's very interesting because we are like completely different about that, but we still have wealthy clients. But we need to adapt our communication strategy to the kind of client we want to attract. So it's a very interesting topic, actually.
Yeah, but also you are present during very private events for your clients. So even if you meet, I'm sure when you meet a new client, they want to see your work, but they would not want to know that you would share their picture to a new client when you meet them. Yeah. So it's important for you as well to show something, but not
to show that I don't share.
Yeah. Exactly, and it's the same for me. Sometimes I have football players or famous influencer, and they ask me, do you work with people that have the same profile as mine? And I will always say yes, but I cannot tell you who, and they really appreciate that. They really value this confidentiality.
Yeah. Completely, that is so true. Like some brides-to-be ask me sometimes, is it possible to see an entire gallery with all the pictures? And I'm like, I'm very sorry, but it's not possible. Privacy is my number one priority. And usually, most of the time, what they reply is, I really appreciate. It's kind of a test sometimes.
Exactly.
It's just
it's 100% a test.
I'm gonna lose clients for sure, because some are like, I don't want to deal with someone I cannot see the pictures of, and like I don't know the results I'm gonna have. Happily, I have like my Western Instagram as well, so they can see kind of style for the portraits, for example. But privacy will always stay our priority, and we don't share anything without the approval of the bride. So it's just, it can go crazy very quickly. So I don't want any trouble, definitely. And even for them, like, it's their image, so it's just super, super important. If you could share one piece of advice for someone started to work with wealthy clients, what would it be?
For me, the biggest, the most important is to think long run. Sometimes you can be tempted to, when you're introduced to someone very wealthy and you're not used to that, to think, oh, I will sell something, like I will sell a penthouse, like very expensive thing. And for me, that's a big mistake. You always need to think long run, because first you will multiply the deals that you will sign with this particular person, and if this person like the experience and is happy with the result of this investment, they will open their network to you as well. And it could be you can work only, like, I mean, you can live for years only thanks to one person who introduced you to their network. So always treat a client as if it was a member of your family, really, as if you were advising your sister or your mother to make an investment. Be as caring as if you were dealing with someone of your family.
That is so true. And there is maybe something I would add, is just like, even if these clients, you know, they have money, like the price is the price. Like, so many people in my industry, when they ask me questions about like how to deal with the pricing and these things, they say like, when you know you are in front of you someone with money, do you change something to your pricing? No, never. My price is my price. The value of 1 hour with me is that price. That's it. I can open windows, doors to other options. Like, if they are, you know, they want to spend money with you, it's just about like, I have crazy options. Like, if you want to add on top, but nothing will be more expensive just because I know you have money. It's just like basic value for me.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's very important to be very fair.
Yeah, exactly. And like, the value of my time is the same for everyone. So definitely. I would like to talk about something that is very common in your industry, but actually in mine too. It's the commission. Like, when someone recommend you like to a client, and then your way to say thank you is to give them a commission. And in my industry, it's like, someone book me through a planner, for example, and so sometimes the planner asks for a commission. So it's a long debate. I have a specific point of view, you have a specific point of view. So in your industry, this is something very familiar. Is it something you are used to practice as well?
Yeah, definitely. We were talking about fairness before. For me, it's totally fair to I don't know how to say that, but
Thanks.
Yeah, to thank and to reward someone who gave your name or because when someone refer you to a person, they engage their reputation as well, not only yours. It means if something goes wrong with you and the end user, it will reflect on them. Yeah. So they took a risk actually referring you. So I think it's normal to refer to reward someone who would refer you to a friend. Also, I think that if you make money thanks to someone, it's only fair to give him like a share of this profit. And on top of everything, and which is, I think is the most important, everyone loves to receive money. That, and especially when you don't expect it. Oh, yeah. Let's say you just some people use you to value themselves as well. They say, I know someone very good, and they know they will take advantage of the introduction as well, because if it will reflect positively on them. So they're not expecting any reward, any kind of money for that. But, and especially when it's not expected, it's always amazing. Like, you are not planning to receive anything and you get like $10,000, for example, that comes from nowhere. Everyone loves that, and it will encourage people, of course. And as you said, you were talking about wedding planner, for example. I'm sure that the wedding planner work with a lot of people like you, and they have the choice to refer anyone, and they will be, of course, you cannot deny, even if your work is 10 times better than the other, if these people pay them, they will they might.
It's a long debate, and it's actually why sometimes I'm not comfortable with commission. The thing is, now they don't even it's not even a surprise. They directly send you the invoice, like, this is my commission. This is
Okay.
why, like, our industries are very different, but it's just something like basic. All of them, depending of the planner, of course, but all of them, like 10%. It's just like, don't forget the 10% commission. So the relationship to commission, it's very different. And if this is what I don't like with the commission concept, is, are you going to refer someone more for the commission than the quality of the work, just because you're going to earn something in the deal? You know what I mean? And I never ask for commission, never. I'm happy to recommend people because I know the job is going to be well done, and not because this person is going to give me money. So it's it's a long debate.
It depends, because in your industry, it's a business relationship with a wedding planner.
Yeah.
So for me, it's totally normal to give back like 10%, for example. If they send the invoice, I think it's a little bit weird, because it's just like more like a gentleman agreement.
Yeah, it should come from you. Like,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Allow me to give you 10%.
For me, it's totally different, because the people who refers me to others are individuals. They are not companies. They are individuals, and out of goodwill, they will say, "Oh, I know someone that is good in real estate. Okay, this is her number." So it's more like a thank you. It's more like a reward that will encourage them to refer me a little bit more and to other people. That's it. But there is nothing written. It's not. We don't have contracts. Yeah. Let's say, because I'm talking to individuals. It's not. Sometimes I work with individuals, but in that case, it means that they will close the deal, and they will have a bigger commission, and we will put everything in writing. But it's very rare.
Like, my biggest question would be, do you think, like, if you come today and you put 10% commission on the table, but tomorrow someone else comes and say to that guy, like, I put 20, even if his work is not as good as yours, my question is, like, this guy in the middle, do you think he's gonna recommend this other guy more than you?
I think that everything depends on the relationship they have with the end user. If this end user is your brother or something that you value a lot, or a professional relationship, one of your biggest clients, let's say, for example, you will not want to risk the relationship for 10% extra. If it's someone you just know, yeah, you will go for that. But me personally, I will not work, like, I value my work as well, and I know my value, and I will never work for less than 90% of the commission, I would say. I will always give 10%. If you want more, it will not be with me.
Yeah. It's a kind of race. I don't agree with, like, the thing, like, oh, but this guy gave 15%, you gave only 10. And in my industry, sometimes it's like, please put 20% commission. I'm just like, guys, like,
it's my work, it's my revenue.
There is a moment when we build prices because we know our value, and if you start taking like 20%, like, depending of the country you live in, you already have like so many taxes, and then you add 20% commission, and goodness, it's just ridiculous. But my point of view, like, even if when people say, like, I just recommended a job to one of the best designer I love so much, because he does an amazing work, and I know the wedding is going to be insane because he's incredible. And he told me, like, how can I thank you? I said, like, oh, you just buy me an Aperol next time we see each other, and I'm happy with it. She's like, no, it's stupid. It's like $1 million recommendation job. But it's just, I know the bride is going to be happy. The pictures are going to be amazing. Like, it's a win-win situation, Yeah, but no, okay, 2 Aperols, But it's just, I think in this industry, it's so hard. In these industries in general, it's so hard to find people you can trust, someone quality work, like someone doing a good job, then once you find these people, you just want to tell everybody, just like to avoid bad experiences. Like, it happens to me so many times with my brides, saying like, okay, if you have any recommendation, more than happy to give you recommendations. And I never ask for any commission. It's just, I know the job is going to be well done. I know the wedding is going to be incredible. My pictures are going to be amazing because of all these recommendations, and the bride is going to be happy. So win-win.
But now I have a question for you. If you're totally open to give 10% commission to people referring you, why are you not comfortable taking 10% commission when you recommend people?
I give 10% simply because I don't have the choice. Honestly, it's just like they send you the invoice after the wedding. So it's just like, okay, it's been agreed from the beginning. Basically, when they send the first email asking for a quote, they say like, what is your price for this, that? And don't forget the 10% commission. So it's just like, if you don't agree, you are out of the market. It's just like, this is how it works in my industry. Just don't have the choice. But this is not a reason why I agree with this, It's just like, this is how it works. This is just not my value, but this is how it works. So if you don't want to be out of the deal, out of the game, you have to deal with it, I think.
Okay.
Especially in industries where it's very developed and it's just like the standards are to give 10% commissions, but it's your choice not to accept this commission as well. I understand, especially in my industry, it's a lot of extra income for them. Like if you do the same with all the suppliers, it's a lot. So you cannot just be like, oh no, I don't want it. I understand. But yeah, well, it's just not my way of working, but it's okay.
Okay.
Last question. If someone wanted to implement commission in the way they are working, what kind of advice you would have for them?
First of all, I think that everything needs to be agreed at the beginning, as you said, so there is no surprise for both parties. I think that everything depends on the work that is done from each party. I was saying, if you're just referring me to someone and you just shared my number, you will have like a small share of the commission, around 10%. And I think that it's very important for a professional to value that job as well. I had some people telling me, upfront, if I send you someone, how much will you give me? And I said, you will get 10%. And some people told me, but the other guy, your competitor, is giving me 50%. I said, so go work with him. I will never give you 50%. 50% means that I'm your broker, means that I work for you and you're my boss. No, I'm sorry, it's not the case. I'm my own boss. I work. I have many clients. I don't need to give 50% of my revenue just because you shared a number. These people need that. I think they are beginning, they are starting in the business, and they need to pay the entire world to have business. It's not my case, and as I said, I value my job. I know the level of expertise I've built over the years. I know the kind of service I will offer. I will never give 50% of my revenue.
And also, don't you think it's about your brand? Like, if you start giving a lot of money for recommendations, you look a bit desperate.
Yeah, you look desperate, and it positions yourself as well. It means like you're happy to give most of your income, meaning that actually your advice, your work, yourself, you don't value your work and the advice that you give. So why would your customers value it as well? So no, it's not. I don't think it's the right strategy.
It's interesting to have commission, but to have limits as well.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share a last anecdote with you. It's I remember when I was looking for an apartment for rent in Dubai, I visited this apartment in GVC, just in front of Al Khail, which is basically a highway, so very noisy. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And this guy was so young and desperate, like you can see in his eyes, he wanted me to rent this shitty apartment. And it was so noisy, and I was like, can you see, like, the windows are not even well isolated? And I was like, it's okay, I can put some scotch on it, some tape on it. And I was like, how do you want me to think you're serious? How do you want me to think I can trust you? when you are like putting tape around the windows to try to hide the noise, it's just ridiculous. So there is a moment when you said trust is so important, but it's also like, don't think these people are stupid, you know. It's just they are aware of how it works. Don't try to put tape on things that cannot be fixed. Just accept that this is what it is. You accept it the way it is, or maybe I can find something else for you. I think it's just it's very important. Thank you so much, Agathe.
Thank you, Maddy.
I can't wait for the next video, because we have so many things we could talk about. Like, it's just a quick preview of all the topics we could talk about. So see you next time. Hopefully.
Yeah, sure. See you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.